Hello and welcome to Fiquei para Morrer, otherwise known as
True to Death.
I'm
Sarah.
And I'm Anna.
And we have our tech guy in the room who's trying not to laugh at us for forgetting our
terrible
intros.
intro.
Again. Yes.
We'll get used to this eventually, I think.
I don't think we will.
Blind leading the blind.
This is a true crime podcast. Oh, good God. This is a true crime podcast where every week we alternate between discussing a British and a Portuguese crime.
And for a bit of backstory, the reason we do this is because Anna grew up in Portugal and I grew up here in the UK, and we are family. So we like sharing bits of our joint heritage, our joint Portuguese-English heritage. So we thought it'd be interesting.
Guys of criminal activity.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a bit of
country. Boy.
I nearly said,
Stab people all the time.
yeah, I nearly said there's nothing wrong with a bit of crime, and then I was like, no,
There's an entire
there's a lot
justice.
wrong with crime. There really is.
There's an entire justice system that begs to differ.
Yes, and sometimes it gets it right, and never mind. Anyway,
Moving on
swiftly.
Too early in the conversation for that.
Before we start our story, let's find an interesting segue to warm you all up a bit. I don't know. So I saw a clip on ye old Tinternet this week about thanking the bus driver when you get off the bus.
Right.
And it was a comedy sketch where a guy forgets to thank the bus driver, and the bus driver literally holds the whole bus ransom hostage until this one man says thank you before getting off the bus. The interesting thing is the man could just walk off the bus anytime, but
He stays.
and you're like, I get the comic joke, but it did strike an interesting point. Can you think of jobs where people would automatically thank someone for doing what is essentially...
Or just
Please, bus drivers, don't hate me. You take me everywhere. I am a bus driver. I am, and I love it, and I'm not changing. But can you think of another profession where somebody does their job and you automatically go, thanks?
I think it's only important for the ones where it's like someone else is in control, like flights, driving. If you get out of a cab, thanks, have a nice night. You get off the bus, you say thank you, because they're in control. And it's thanks to them that you don't die in like a 24-car pileup.
Well, I can totally understand that because I have a fear of flying, and when I get off the plane, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, so, you do that for every mode of transport. It's not just buses. Yeah. So airplanes, when you're walking off, the stewardesses or air, there's an official way to say it, and I can't remember.
It's where's my peanuts?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you can't have peanuts on planes anymore. Allergies.
All right, someone tell me what the correct way of saying it is, because I know that there's an offensive way to say it, and anyway. Moving on. So they'll usually be waiting and like as you're walking out. And you do usually say thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah.
So
and they're like, thank you for flying Airlines. Have a nice day.
I don't know. I just usually, if it's like a service that someone is providing me, I do usually say thank you.
And I have never stopped in the street and seen my bins being collected and gone to the sweaty bin man who probably stinks of 2-week-old waste. I've never gone, do you know what, fella? Thank you.
No, that's true. But like if I'm...
I agree.
But like if I'm at a shop and I pay for something and I buy it, and as I'm going to leave, I do sometimes say thank you and have a good day. Like,
you're one of the rare ones, because
like
I've seen shops where people get the service and then instead of saying thank you, they say you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's because I've worked. Well, I'm currently working retail, so like it's one of those things. It's kind of imbued in you. I think I do think it should be a national like mandate that
say thank you,
not say thank you, but that everyone should have to work retail at some point in their life, like any part of retail.
I think our Prime Minister could do with some retail work right now.
Well,
And he might head that way. Anyway, that's enough politics for one day.
That 1 second was enough.
It's primetime crime time, so let's get serious. It's your story today, Anna. What have you got for us?
All right, so I have today o assassino do Aqueduto das Águas Livres.
That's a big, long word.
Translated to the murderer of the Free Waters Aqueduct.
Nice.
I love aqueducts.
His name being...
I mean, to be fair, they are a marvel of architecture, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great.
Aqueduct. And do
Bridge of water.
do you automatically think of the Monty Python joke? What are the Romans ever to the aqueduct? You can't help. You cannot help
true,
it.
though. It's
You
true.
cannot help it. Roads, sanitation, public health. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I've quoted that too much. Anyway,
That's quite all right. His name was Diogo Alves. And I've got my information from the websites historialx.com, lisboasecreta.co, and obviously our good friend Wikipedia. Please donate.
Wiki.
There is little information known about him, but according to Alberto Câmara and Santos Júnior Santonilo.
I love how you paused there. You were like, have I got it all right?
I don't know if that's a Spanish
Okay.
thing or a Portuguese thing. Anyway, it's got 2 L's. So, Santonillo. Anyway, authors of the 1897 article written in the magazine Galeria de Criminosos Célebres em Portugal, História da Criminologia Contemporânea, translated to
Celebrity criminals in
Gallery,
Portugal. Yeah.
Gallery of Renowned Criminals in Portugal, History of Contemporary Criminology. You were getting there.
For those of you who couldn't see, I just punched the air there. That's the most
She did punch
successful
the air.
understanding of Portuguese I think I've ever done.
She did pretty well. Yeah, for anyone out there who's like, just an aside here, for anyone out there who has people of different countries within their family where they think that those people don't actually speak their original language, I would be careful speaking your original language in front of them because they might know more than you think.
I'm tapping the side of my head feeling clever right now. I feel like one of those criminals in one of those Sherlock Holmes stories where I'm nefarious. Oh, the guy with the big moustache who ties somebody to the rails. I'm there tapping my fingers. Oh, yes.
Portugal.
Yes.
Yes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
There's quite a few people in our family that they can't really speak the language, but if you have a conversation in Portuguese in front of them, they'll understand it. You might not know that they understand it until it's too late, but they understand it.
There's
Anyway.
even more people in our family who like to think they're clever. We do, don't we?
Well, we are clever.
There you go. The man on the mic's like, Anyway, I said clever, not wise.
To
Anyway,
bring it back, according to these two fellows, he would have been born in 1810 in Galicia, Spain, in a place near Lugo. Still young, around the age of 13, he emigrated to the capital of Portugal.
Lisbon.
There you
Has
are.
that always been the capital of Portugal?
I think so.
That's just I threw that question out there like
yeah.
just boomerang.
To be fair, that is a fair question to ask someone who studied history in Portugal. However, my memory is crap, and I wasn't a very good student either. So,
And we one thing we're really good at in this family is underselling ourselves.
well,
Just saying. Anyway.
Oh
Lord, it's hard to be humble. Anyway.
He emigrated to the capital of Portugal, where he worked in wealthy houses as a coachman and errand boy. Say that 3 times fast.
So is this about his murder, essentially?
He's the murderer.
Why does it always have to be murder? Why can't we just like a Portuguese Robin Hood.
There's a whole conversation in a I want to say it's in the story of one of Hercule Poirot's stories, where Hercule Poirot and Hastings are having a conversation about what crime you would like if you could order crime at a restaurant, what kind of crime you would like, and Hercule Poirot kind of skits Hastings a little bit because Hastings like, what other type is there? It's murder. Like if you don't forget all this other stuff, that's like having a salad. I would, So there is a reason we usually cover the same crime. It's the one that raises the most eyebrows, I suppose. Sad as that is, but
it's the one that.
I'm gonna find the coolest crime when I get to do an episode.
I would.
The coolest one.
I would love to do some Scooby-Doo style stuff where it's nobody dies, but it's always the guy with the mask on, and he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
Well, the problem is there's already like. I'm working with the bare minimum here, so it's not very easy to research things where things are either, and you'll see in this one, things are either overly blown out of proportion or they're undersold, in which case you find barely anything about anything.
Yeah.
So, and this is both. So,
and if that's that way with murder, imagine what it's like if somebody just steals a bread roll from a cart.
Exactly.
Like those have faded into obscurity.
There's very
centuries ago.
little that I can work with. So most of mine are probably going to be either murders or like at the very least some sort of very serious.
I see a challenge coming for me. I see if I can make my next story just to impress the man on the mic, to show him, mummy's clever. Or just to show him I'm clever. Oh my God, he's really, really honestly, the frown is so bad. Yeah. It's like he smelled something rank. Like, so.
Let's keep it professional, people.
Yes. So, as challenge accepted, I will try and find something different.
He's still frowning.
He's still frowning, and now the frown is serious. It looks like he's got a headache. I'm going to stop now. Right, okay. Back to it. Prime time. Prime time. Come on.
He began to frequent a tavern near Benfica, where
You just know the football. Anyway.
No, I know the tavern. I used to go back there when I was a little lad.
Is that right?
What? Okay.
Near where... It's actually near where my nan lives.
Oh.
Where he met and entered into a relationship with the proprietress, Gertrudes Maria.
Is that like Gertrude?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the name Gertrude. What a name.
You're the only one.
Oh, Gertrude's just, it rolls off the tongue.
Does it?
What?
Try saying Gertrudes.
Gertrudes. Oh.
That was pretty good.
A bit saucy.
That was pretty good. She was known as a parreirinha.
A buxom wench.
Also known as, or translated to the small trellis or the small vine.
Okay, oh sorry. That was like a really drunk whiskey laugh, but that is, okay. So I went for buxom wench, and apparently she prefers a good climb. So, okay.
That was her name. That was what she was known as.
I don't know if the joke's flown over my head. What does that mean?
I come back to Gertrude being the best name ever.
That's the worst nickname ever. What does that even mean?
What?
Like the trellis. Like
do you know what a trellis
climber,
is?
Like
climbs.
a vine.
That's pretty cool.
So either she... Oh! I wonder if that's like a 100-and-odd-year-old way of saying social climber?
Well, she owned her own establishment. She owned the tavern.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm already in love with Gertrude.
And he went down a dark path of drinking and gambling.
Oh.
Me too.
What, would you do that if your wife was named Gertrude? That's so unfair. Yeah, that's namist.
I drink right beer and I bet on...
Oh, the scratch cards.
How terrible this video is going to come out.
It's really not. Anyway.
Cut that.
Oh, ye of little Gertrude faith.
This is where o Pancada translated to the blow or the hit.
Okay.
So basically,
Like an assassination. Yeah.
no, like
The hit.
as in
He's like
he liked punching.
Oh.
He liked to throw punches. So hence o pancada.
Okay.
Organized his gang. So he organized his gang of 4 and began his career robbing wealthy houses.
Okay.
This is a fun crime.
Uh,
A string of like wealthy house robberies. That's fun.
hey.
Again, unfortunately, there's not a lot of detail.
Excuse me, but any crime which involves a woman who's nicknamed Trellis,
Did she like climb into the house? That's
She
awesome.
was not involved. The four were. Thank you for that segue, by the way.
Yeah,
The 4
well
were António Palhares, Manuel Joaquim da Silva, known as o beiço rachado, which translates to the cracked lips. Both of whom were soldiers. João das Pedras, known as o enterrador, translated to the barrier, as in not the barrier.
no, the
barrier.
As in, dig it up.
Yeah, these guys got cool nicknames. Yeah, it's me, Scotty Chocolates.
Cracked lips, yeah. Brilliant. And the last one was Claudino Coelho, o pé de dança, translated to the dancing foot.
Oh, light of foot.
Cool.
I want to be light of foot.
Awesome. They sound like they'd walk into the house clicking their fingers.
Excuse me, but the guy who's already nicknamed Chap Lips or Crack Lips, however you want to thingy it, his name is De Silva. I am sorry, but there is not much more of a badass Mediterranean name. That's the name you'd associate with a pirate straight away. Hey,
Fair.
I'm a De Silva.
Short lips to silver.
Skull and crossbones. Done. Yeah.
In 1837, the group robbed and attempted to murder the occupiers of a residence in Calçada da Estrela. They were unsuccessful, but this would be a precursor for their MO.
Okay.
Modus operandi.
Yes. And what
For
was their
anyone who
modus
doesn't know.
operandi? Does this go into detail?
So they would rob and then kill people.
I'm thinking of the Wet Bandits here from
Again, I thought it was going to be something fun.
No, it was not that. They were not the wet
A
bandits.
slice of like Madeira cake on the table or something. Even though that Madeira cake's not from Madeira, I'm pretty sure.
I
I actually
did.
found that out the other day.
What, Madeira cakes are not from Madeira? Where are they from?
England. They're just called Madeira cakes for some bizarre reason.
They looked at this brown, shitty little cake and went, "That's wow,
Yeah, the English doing what we do best
wow,
again.
wow."
Horribly generalising.
To be fair, the bonus of a good Madeira cake is it is full of alcohol. So there we go.
Look, on that note, do you know the Muffin Man? No. Every time I say that, though, I can't help it.
The Muffin Man
Do you know the origin?
of the Muffin Man.
No. No, that's Drury Lane. Oh my God. Do you know the origin of orange jam thing?
Marmalade.
Marmalade. The
Paddington
origin-
Bear.
Marmalade.
Peru.
That is not the origin of marmalade.
If Paddington Bear didn't make marmalade, I don't want it.
So the origin of marmalade is a Portuguese princess brought over marmalade
Yeah.
to the royal family of the UK, and they tried it, but marmalade is actually made from a fruit called marmelo,
Okay.
and because in the UK they didn't have marmelos, they made it from orange.
Oranges.
Oh, that's cool.
So technically, your marmalade isn't actual marmalade, it's actually just orange jam.
Technically, one of the most famous spreads in the world, simply because, Paddington's taken it everywhere. One of the most famous spreads in the world, you're telling me, is the result of a cock-up.
Yeah, it's just because to be fair, you guys didn't have the actual fruit.
Improvising.
The reason that is good, but the reason why it's called marmalade is or marmelada is because it comes from the fruit marmelo.
I wonder if they still make it like that.
But but despite the fact that they weren't making it from marmelo.
Marmelo.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, we gotta try that at some point.
We really do. I see an internet purchase coming.
So despite the fact that they didn't obviously make it from the original fruit marmelo, they still called it marmalade.
I love it. I don't like marmalade actually, but never mind. I'm definitely more of a.
I wonder if you
jam.
It's a walking past.
I wonder if you like it made from marmelo then.
I would definitely be up for trying that.
Wait, you don't like marmalade?
I don't like it's not my
English.
it's not my favourite.
Traitor.
It's not my favourite spread. I'm definitely more of a jam girl.
What is jam?
Yeah, but it's got bits in.
So does jam.
Yeah, all right. It's
I'll
quite
bring
tart.
it when I next go to Portugal. I'll bring it over and you guys can try it.
I should really go to Portugal at some point.
You should.
Stop looking at me. I ain't taking you there.
Why not?
Because you've got other.
You haven't been to Portugal in years.
You've got a family so big, like just.
That's the problem. I've never met like a decent chunk of the family.
Never met half of them. Yeah, that's valid. All right, I'll take you over
I'm
there.
too pasty and white.
Anyway, I don't know if this is going to make it into
I'm not
the.
going to lie, if you ask my sister, she'll be more than happy to have you.
See, and we've segued that far.
Sorry,
Let's get serious. Right.
Sorry, sis. I kind of just threw you over the bus there.
Under
the bus, not over the bus. Well, that too, both.
That was a pole
Threw you over the bus and under the bus somehow.
Under the bus, over the bus, wombling free. Anyway. I know the silence in the room. Hey, I've changed conversation back. Come on.
I'm going to put like a cricket noise in there.
Do it. Or put one of those where everybody goes silent and then you just hear. Anyway.
I didn't mean to deviate. I'm very sorry. So in 1839, they learned about Dr. Pedro Andrade's fortune. Dr. Pedro Andrade's fortune.
Okay.
From his servant. So Pedro Andrade's servant
What a
went
friggin'
blabbing
gossip.
about how rich he is and how massive his master is.
Do you know my
Great
boss?
high start. There's a little bit
know.
of information dribbled to the criminals, and they go, "Yeah, boys, we don't have this place in.
So on the night,
All right, Cagney.
I don't remember, boys."
Anyway.
on the night of the 26th of September, 1839, in house number 16 in Rua das Flores, the doctor was absent, but in his stead was the Mourão family, a mother, 2 daughters, and 1 son,
I know where this
Yeah,
is
this
going.
is going not well.
I know where this is going.
who were not blood related to Andrade.
Why were they there? Were they just renting the house out or
They were just staying there.
guests?
The victims were killed by several hits to the head and strong pressure applied to the chest and stomach. The crime was discovered the following morning by the baker who was supplying the bread and found the doors wide open. The group members were arrested and tried in 1840. Diogo Alves and an accomplice were also convicted of killing a servant, Manuel Alves, to conceal the prior crime. I'm wondering whether this was the servant that gave them away in the first place, like that told them about the fortune in the first place.
Yeah.
Alves was sentenced to death and executed on the 19th of February 1841 at the Cais do Tojo in Lisbon. He would be the last person in Portugal to be executed by hanging.
It's funny. I've read something about this in this country, basically in England, and they were talking. There was an interview. I think it's quite famous actually.
Last death penalty.
The last hangman, the last executioner, and they asked him sort of how he handled killing people because essentially that's what he's doing on a 9 to 5. He's walking into work and people are dying, and you go, wow, how do you get to grips with that, or how do you even cope? How does your mind process that?
Yeah.
And I think the reason it's famous is because he basically was like, well, it's a job. I get paid to do. I don't think about my job. It's a job. I go in and do my job. And if we all thought like that, it's actually, I think, like, if you digest that, it's quite scary, really, when you think about it.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, he is paid to murder.
Yeah.
He is literally
Sanctioned
being paid
murder.
to kill someone.
So, but in his mind, the way he deals with it, because you have to have this sort of detachment.
Right, because otherwise you don't, like, it's not even certain, like, that this person, unless they were caught with, which even then, someone might say that they caught them. Who's to know if that person has a vendetta against them?
They've been found guilty. That doesn't necessarily always follow that they are guilty.
Exactly.
One of the last people to be hung in this country was innocent. You've heard of the 10 Ridlington place? It's quite a famous one, but it's one of the last men in this country to be hanged was framed for the murders that happened there by the actual killer himself, who then I think later got hanged. So yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Anyway, it's last person to be hanged in Portugal.
Hanging's pretty messed up though. Like, I think there's better, more humane ways to, if you are going to have like executions, if the crime is so severe that you are going to do that, something more humane ways.
Well, there's something to be said that executions have become over the centuries much more. You have to go further back, like crucifixion upside down. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean, it was
sort of example.
but that's
modern.
I mean, executions always were made as a sort of example. That's why people could go down the street and watch someone get hanged.
Or worse, beheaded.
In a more modern context, it's simply that someone's committed a crime so severe that is the only punishment that fits, and you don't need an entire crowd of 100 people to see that.
No, you really don't.
Because it's not really going to deter anyone from like doing said heinous crime.
No.
Because that's just kind of like a rare occurrence.
Yeah. So go on.
So the victims were members of a family under the doctor's care. Maria da Conceição Correia Mourão, her son, José Elias, and her daughters, Emilia and Vicencia.
How old were they?
It doesn't say.
I don't think I want to know.
I was about to say I'm a little bit glad for that, because it
doesn't say.
She was on her own. Do you know what I mean? That's the heartbreaking bit about that. She had no husband to look out for her or anything. Like, it's her and her kids. Like,
and the doctor wasn't even there. It's not like he could have. That she was the protection. And I don't know how old her son was, but even then, like.
It's not the point. It's her son. It's her son.
It's one of the reasons I'd never want to have kids, because I'm worried I wouldn't be able to like.
There's.
I don't know. It's like.
Not a lot I wouldn't put myself through. I think that's just a genetic protectionist thing. There's not a lot I wouldn't put there's nothing I wouldn't put myself through to protect my children. Like, no. Up top.
Cool.
No, I got your back, homie. If the cannons are out, I get in front. So, yeah.
No one uses cannons anymore.
I had a dream about cannons the other night anyway. That was a really weird segue, but cannons were in my brain.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to tell us about the dream?
Not really. Welcome to how my mind works. I will segue into cannons at a moment's notice and then not explain a damn thing.
Okay. You might well be questioning why he was known as the murderer of the Free Waters Aqueduct.
Yeah. How does that link in?
Who allegedly killed dozens of victims by throwing them off Lisbon's Free Waters Aqueduct.
This is MO.
Okay, that's kind of evil, but it's kind of hard.
You're not hearing lemmings, are you? It's like
Spartan kicking him off like a massive aqueduct. That's pretty cool.
That is basically what he is known as. Anyone that passed by the aqueduct.
Okay, never mind. I thought they were having like cool ritualistic combat on this big aqueduct, like feet in the water, like.
This is Sparta. Well, it's not. It's
However,
Lisbon,
before you get too ahead of yourselves, this reputation only emerged after his death.
Okay.
The first 19th century text to mention aqueduct killings was Francisco António Martins Bastos' book. Vida e Morte de Diogo Alves, Life and Death of Diogo Alves.
Okay.
which relied on hearsay and offered no evidence.
Love a good gossip. I love a good gossip.
According to court documents and press reports of the time, no accusations were brought against Alves for any crimes at the aqueduct. Neither the public indictment nor the 1840 court ruling mentioned the aqueduct or any alleged serial killings. These stories only appeared in later fictionalized accounts. Municipal records show that deaths at the aqueduct, possibly suicides, continued until at least 1843.
Someone threw something out the window.
Bearing in mind, 1843, bearing in mind he died in 1841.
Yeah,
So 2 years after his death.
yeah.
Deaths were still going on at the aqueduct.
Yeah.
And the site was not fully closed until 1852. So if you can't walk,
You can't get access
you can't
to the
get
aqueduct.
access to the aqueduct anymore.
Aw.
According to the 2025 historical investigation seeking Diogo Alves, Fact and Fiction in Portugal's Aqueduct Killer by Miguel Carvalho Abrantes, Alves was never tried, charged, or even formally suspected of those supposed crimes during his lifetime. Abrantes concludes that Diogo Alves became a convenient scapegoat for an unsolved public fear.
What do they say? I saw it quoted today, off a TV show no less, which might have been quoting truth, it might not, but it's a TV show based on something real that happened, and the quote that I was listening to said, "A just world is a sane world." So people want justice,
Yeah.
and will stop at no. You know, some people will stop at nothing to get justice.
The funny
even
thing
though-
is he is known as the Aqueduct Killer.
Yeah,
So
but he's never killed
in Portugal,
Yeah.
like I don't even know if that many people know about the actual crime he was
convicted
hanged
of.
for.
Yeah.
But most people will know if you mention Diogo Alves, the Aqueduct Killer.
Yeah.
And it's like, because he used to basically just throw people, obviously steal their
Allegedly.
things. Allegedly, he would steal people, like, as people were walking
Yeah.
through the aqueduct.
Yeah.
He would steal their things and then throw them over.
So he's become a boogeyman, so people can justify what actually happens to people
which
who
was
do
more
die.
likely suicides.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally like revenge killings, maybe, but most likely people were going there to commit suicide.
And of course, in those days, that wasn't what people didn't do. That it was the ultimate sin.
Because Portugal is
Very Catholic.
very Catholic,
Very
like
Catholic.
staunchly Catholic.
The ultimate sin. It may,
Exactly.
for me, it's one of the interesting things about Catholicism is to annihilate somebody else. One of the breaking a 10th commandment, one of the 10 commandments. Pardon me, not the 10th commandment, but one of the 10 commandments. It's that strong, but to self-annihilate is also that strong, which shows very little empathy for what your fellow human being
That's because the commandment
might be going
is,
through.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not kill, because obviously in the religion it places a lot of value on the gift that God gave us of human life and consciousness, free will, yada yada yada, and taking that from anyone, even yourself, is viewed as an act against God because He's given you the gift of life,
and you're scoffing that gift.
I think that's why it's got so much importance placed on it.
But in a way, it's kind of you have to marvel at a religion that on the one hand is trying so hard to teach empathy, and on the other hand is literally the older sort of stuff is basically going.
That's why it's so scary when someone who is religious will ask an atheist, like, so if you don't believe, or like an agnostic, so if you don't believe in God, why don't you just go off and kill?
Oh, good God, no.
It's like,
Yeah.
because morals, if the only here's the thing, if I could go into it, but I won't.
We can get into like the theological debates right now. This could be
yeah. No, we don't need to make this 2 hours, but yeah.
Well, it's actually a very short one
Oh, that'll do.
so far. But
Let's talk about God, kids. Hell yeah.
Let's talk about the Almighty.
But it's one of those things, like, if that is the one thing that is keeping you from going around doing bad things, then for the love of God, never leave religion. So, municipal records show that deaths at the Aqueduct, possibly suicides, continued until at least 1843, so like 2 years after he died, and the site was not fully closed until 1852. So if you want to go there, you can't.
Oh.
I know. I was very sad when I found that out. I was like, ooh, visiting the scene of the crime.
Yeah, I was just thinking like we were talking about aqueducts. I love aqueducts. It's a thing. It's a thing. They are pretty. You can see them from the bottom, but it's not the same. Anyway.
According to the 2025 historical investigation, Seeking Diogo Alves, Fact and Fiction in Portugal's Aqueduct Killer, by Miguel Carvalho Abrantes, Alves was never tried, charged, or even formally suspected of those supposed crimes during his lifetime. Abrantes concludes that Diogo Alves became a convenient scapegoat for an unsolved public fear.
I think people love a good scapegoat. I saw a TV show that quoted recently, a just world is a sane world. And basically, I think it was getting at the point that if we have quote-unquote justice, it doesn't actually matter who gets blamed, so long as we feel like we've had some kind of justice. So it was actually from a TV show based on the events at Chernobyl. And it was interesting.
I wonder if I've seen that one.
It's a brilliant miniseries. It's about 7 years old, but the main
I think I
protagonist, if you will, in that says, the authorities wanted and the people wanted answers because a just world is a sane world.
Yeah.
And there was nothing sane about Chernobyl. And you just think, wow, are we really that keen to just blame it all on one person and wash our hands as if...
I mean, it's easier, right? Because once you eliminate that one person, then there should be nothing left to fear.
People can, quote-unquote, move on. Then it's like, wow, okay, yeah, but... This is the same in this case, I'm imagining. It's just, if we can blame him for all the wrong things that happened on that aqueduct, I nearly said viaduct.
Then you can't deal with suicide. Then you don't have to deal with the fact that people are killing themselves for whatever reasons.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Will always happen in this sort of hierarchies.
Yeah. It's a thing. Everybody loves a good scapegoat. Lee Harvey Oswald, anyone? So... let's not touch that one. Let's not touch that one. Let's not touch that one. Barge pole, leave it away.
To add to his mysterious betrayal, or the way he comes across, a preserved human head, something else he's also known for, a preserved human head on display at the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Lisbon has long been believed to belong to Alves.
Cool.
Ew.
Can I go like a little...
No, it would fall apart in your hand. Like, ew.
I will show you the photo later.
I wonder if they formaldehyded it. Ugh.
How...
Rasputin's penis.
Well, it's...
What?
It's still in the jar.
Freaking hell.
No, seriously.
I know they've got Lenin's brain in storage somewhere, haven't they?
That's how legendary it was.
Do you realise we're being recorded right now, and you're talking about Rasputin's Todger?
He just swung that shit like a metronome. They all went to sleep.
He was known to be a mystical hit with the ladies, and now we know why. I've got visions going on in my head. I'm like, is it fully extended?
Same.
Is it not?
Good God! Let's move on, please.
Sorry. So our man on the mic started it, so just saying, scapegoat. Okay.
Awesome.
Let's get serious.
However, Abrantes demonstrates that this is almost certainly false. The head bears no physical resemblance to contemporary images of Alves. The preservation method, formaldehyde, was not used until decades after his death, and the museum's catalogue system was lost in a 1978 fire. The head may have been confused with a skull once studied by Francisco Ferraz de Macedo, mentioned in an article in the same magazine mentioned earlier, Gallery of Renowned Criminals in Portugal, which was a different object entirely. So his skull was studied, but his head isn't in a jar.
Can we just say it is because that's kind of cool?
Well, that's exactly why I'm doing this.
There is an interesting story about a Victorian, because death, but in terms of burying your dead, back in those days, people were obsessed with preserving your loved ones. And there is a case in London, because at the same time all this is happening, cemeteries in London were just springing up. There were only one or two. And then as the city grew, obviously, more had to be built on the outskirts. The idea was you had your populace in the centre of the city. Do you know a place called Kensal Green?
Yeah.
You might do. We have been there.
Yeah.
That was considered the outskirts of London back in those days. I am digressing, but I will get back to it.
No.
That was so they used to drive the bodies to the outskirts of the city, and then obviously as the city grew, more cemeteries popped up. But there is an interesting case that I read about in a book, literally talking about London's history of how they bury their dead, where a doctor had his wife preserved for 6, I want to say months, if I remember the story rightly, after she died, just literally there on display in his office.
It's like some Mr. Freeze type shit. Batman.
It would be if he could freeze her. But there wasn't even formaldehyde back then. So this corpse is decaying.
Maybe he is Mr. Freeze. That's just
It brings me to this point where this guy's saying, well, it doesn't look like contemporary images of Alvish. And I'm like, well, no wonder, dude. His head must have rotted like a pumpkin.
Yeah, but also they used a method to preserve it that was not used.
The Egyptians were king of that.
At the time.
They preserved shit so well that 2,000 odd years later it's still there. Like,
it's pretty cool.
And they picked out your nose first just to make sure that there was nothing in there. Yeah. No soft tissue.
And Farage basically just wanted to study him from the perspective of like, can we identify what makes a criminal a criminal?
But how can you judge on a contemporary image? Because if the image is contemporary, these people don't necessarily know what he looked like either. Like, that's an interesting
so
segue.
the skull is one thing.
Yeah.
The skull that he was studying is the skull of the Ogwalvs.
So that he's basing the images, like, I suppose computers can do that, can't they? Technology can generate images of the person.
Whereas the head in a jar is something entirely apart that was not studied in the past.
Whose head that is?
So while there is concrete written evidence of measurements being taken of his skull, as in the Ogwalvs, there is no allusion to the preservation of his head in a jar. As such, while we don't know who the head belongs to, it almost certainly does not belong to the Ogwalvs.
Henry VIII.
Henry VIII's head just ended up in Portugal.
In a jar. I've seen that movie. Yeah.
Alves was convicted of 5 murders, 4 during a robbery and a 5th to cover up the crime. No legal or testimonial evidence connects him to additional murders, and the often cited figure of 70 victims at the Aqueduct is a later invention.
Damn.
So some people would said that he had up to, because we didn't know how many victims he had at the Aqueduct.
Yeah.
He could have had up to like 70 victims.
Easier to paint him as a serial killer than it is to believe that people would take their own lives.
Exactly.
Damn.
And also, there is no link to him and the head. I'm very, very sorry. I'll actually show you a picture.
Yeah, the man on the mic is getting excited now.
Oh man, imagine that. I want my head preserved. You ever seen Futurama? You know, my head's in the jars. I want to be preserved like Richard Nixon.
No, you're quite all right. Yeah, no,
awesome.
don't pickle my head, thank you. Just burn it. Kill it with what the fresh?
Dude.
What the hell?
It looks like what was it called in Doctor Who? The face of Bo.
Yeah.
But it looks real. Like that's a stupid thing to say because it is real. But so say for example it was preserved at the same time. You're talking 1810, or 1840s. It's nearly 100. How's a head 100 years old look like it belongs on a 38-year-old's body?
Probably because he died at 38.
No, whatever's in that water.
Oh, formaldehyde.
It's formaldehyde.
Well,
It was preserved with formaldehyde.
you can now see why Oil of Ole might be looking going, oh,
Formaldehyde.
bit of formaldehyde on the old skin there, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it does like bleach your skin though, so it probably wouldn't be good for business.
Get rid of them crow's feet and the rest of it. Take off layers like an onion. Yeah, no.
Oof.
I find it fascinating that they would need to preserve anybody's head.
No, I think that's awesome. You can see what someone looked like.
I don't know how it ended up like at the Faculty of Lisbon, but
The 1800s, it was all about study. It was all like
University of Lisbon. Sorry.
I went through the Natural History Museum in London recently, and it was incredible how many species of animal were on display that had literally just been shot and stuffed because taxidermy was a thing. So they were obsessed in the Victorian era with cataloguing and preservation, simply for preservation's
You
sake.
know what fun crime we should talk about?
Taxidermy.
The first examples of what do you do after someone's died and you cut them open for study?
Autopsy.
The first examples of autopsy and medical study.
I do not know how far that goes back.
I'm pretty sure it was like it's probably the only moral crime ever committed to exhume someone's grave for study to actually learn how the human body works. We should talk about that. It's awesome.
Well,
We are literally doing research as we speak.
We can do an episode on grave robbing, essentially.
Grave robbing. So there is a specific couple that did grave robbing that has been massively talked about.
In Portugal?
No.
Oh, I was going to say here,
In England.
Yeah. When was the first autopsy performed? The first autopsy...
What are they called?
Where we are consulting the almighty Tinternet. I love how you put when was the first, and the first result that comes up was when was the first iPhone released. Like, that's the most important thing you need to know.
It was a big historical event.
All right, when was the first autopsy performed? Shut up. How far back do you think autopsies go?
Oh, probably like a really, really long way, I'd imagine.
I would say
People
Egyptians.
Okay.
Probably even further back.
Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, Burke and Hare is who I was thinking about.
44 BCE. Guess who? It's someone famous. It's someone, if you don't know this historical figure, then I have to ask questions, Brutus.
Was it Caesar?
Julius Caesar.
No kidding.
Julius Caesar. The first recorded autopsy aimed at determining the cause of death was performed on Roman Emperor
I
Julius.
wonder what got him. First he takes his knife, stabs in the back.
Oh, who knows? It could be anything.
Hang on. Done in front of witnesses, like there were like 20 of them around him.
Could have been he choked on something.
Must have been constipation.
Yeah. Confess, Brutus, confess. Yeah, yes. The first recorded, the earliest recorded
They didn't even have to cut him
autopsy.
open at that point. He's just there for all to see.
Human pincushion, I'll come back to it. The first forensic legal autopsy then was in 1302, so jump
A big jump.
over 1,000 years forward, and it was in Italy.
Oh, cool.
To investigate a suspicious death. And it says, while earlier anatomical studies occurred, such as those by Herophilus of Chalcedon, please tell me I've got that right, in the 3rd century, they were for understanding anatomy rather than determining a specific cause of death. So autopsies originally were actually so that we could have a look at what the human body looked like. So there you go. Did you know that Julius Caesar... I'm not sure if it was him or if it... No, because I'm going to get this Do you know the origin of the word caesarean comes from Caesar? Because one of the first caesareans.
Was he like cut out of his mama?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. Hold on.
I was cut out of my mama.
I wasn't going to
Fact
advertise
checking.
that to the world, but yeah, there you go.
Wait, are we a
You
podcast
should've done
of
an
fact
intro.
checking? Fact checkers.
We check our facts. We do check
Do
our
we?
facts. Yeah.
I may have.
have to.
I may have to go back a few episodes. And
Well, hang on. For comedic value, I'm going to do this the voice way. What was the first caesarean? So, so the first one where mother and child survived was actually in 1500.
Well, yeah, that's not massively surprising. I'd imagine before that.
It,
Have a great sort of
let's
track
cut
record.
this baby out of this woman.
she
What
dying.
else were we supposed to do?
She dying. So the first one, actually, shockingly, the surgery has been performed at least as far back as 715 BC. So that's pre-Julius Caesar, well before Julius Caesar. A popular idea is that the Roman statesman Julius Caesar was born via caesarean section, and this is the namesake of the procedure. But if this is true, if this is true etymology, it is based on a misconception. Until the modern era, C-sections seem to have been invariably fatal to the mother. And Caesar's mother not only survived her son's birth, but lived for nearly 50 years afterwards. So there are legends about it, and one of those legends is that it came from the name Caesar.
Cool.
So hence
What about the
caesarean.
Man.
Well, you do chop up that bacon. Like, you do chop up that bacon. That chicken and bacon gets proper chopped up. Just thinking about it, like hacked into little tiny pieces. I don't want.
Well, you've heard it here first. Caesarean comes from Caesar, and so does the salad.
And now I'm thinking of a Disney movie. So yeah.
And now,
Pardon?
It's a Roman Disney movie?
There's a Roman reference in a Disney movie, Aladdin, where the genie says Caesar salad. Yeah, and it's one of Robin Williams' finest gags.
Missed that guy.
Yeah, so do I. So wow, that descended into despair quite quickly.
so I think this is where we leave you.
Yes, we are going to say goodbye, but we're going to say it in the way only we can. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you done?
No, bye.